This video is brought to you by SoccerPro.com. Be sure to visit SoccerPro.com for all the latest soccer gear at everyday low prices with no membership fees. Don't forget to use coupon code SR4U at checkout for $10 off a $75 purchase, plus free shipping within the US. Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you an unboxing plus on-feet video of the brand new Nike HyperVenom Phelon in the bright citrus and black colorway. This is the third takedown model in Nike's brand new HyperVenom series with a retail price of $75 US. So I'll get this box out of the way, and if you guys could take a second to leave a like on the video, it would be greatly appreciated. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are asking yourselves why I don't have the HyperVenom Phantoms just yet, and that's because they're just not available. There were early sample pairs of the shoes, but what ended up happening is those early sample pairs were a lot different than the final production model, which is what's going to be sold to the public and what a lot of the pros are going to be wearing. The main difference is not so much the upper. There were some differences in the graphics, but it had mostly to do with the stud pattern itself. Early production samples had 3 studs in the heel, and the stud pattern up top was a little bit different. I believe that this stud was different, and they were actually missing this extra stud right here in the forefoot. So this is what the production stud pattern is going to look like, and I will be trying to get the brand new HyperVenom Phantom top-end model in very, very shortly. They're saying that the ship date for the shoes are going to be June 18th, but I'm going to try and get them sooner than that and hopefully have a review up as soon as possible. So please be patient with me and just, I guess, enjoy the HyperVenom Phelon as I do have them at the day of the unveil. So as far as the Phelon itself goes, I know I don't deal with takedown models all that often, especially third takedown models, but I have to say that I'm actually pretty impressed with the quality of the synthetic on this boot. And before I even get into talking about the shoe itself, I wanted to talk about how the shoe looks. What are your thoughts on the HyperVenom? Do you think it looks good? Do you not like how it looks? Personally, I really like how it looks. You can see they went with that backward swoosh, similar to what they're using on the LeBron 10s, which is a basketball shoe. And you can see that they have the Nike swoosh on the instep as opposed to on the outside, which is kind of unusual. I'm not sure how I like that or how I feel about that, but for the most part, I definitely like how the shoe looks. My personal favorite part is the skull and crossbones on the inside of the heel. I know a lot of people are probably not going to like that look, but personally, I think it's a really, really cool idea by Nike, and it's a nice, neat little graphic that they added on there instead of just leaving the heel completely black. So as far as the shoe itself goes, the synthetic is not Nike skin like it is on the top-end HyperVenom Phantom. Instead, it's what Nike calls trophy synthetic. Again, it is all new for their takedown models, and it actually feels really, really good. You can see how soft and pliable it is from right out of the box. Keep in mind, this is a brand new pair, and it does have kind of that honeycomb texturing similar to what you're going to find on the top-end Phantom model with that Nike skin upper. So it does have that little bit of texturing, and it does feel fairly soft for a $75 soccer shoe. So for the most part, as far as low-end synthetics go, it feels pretty good from right now. As far as the overall shape of the shoe, you can see that it does have a very similar styling to the Mercurial series, but at the same time, it isn't overly low cut in the heel, and it just has a slightly different shape through the midfoot, especially due to the cut of the lacing, which I feel is a little bit shallow just from first impressions. You can see it doesn't go very deep at all. There's lots of area down here that's not going to be customizable when you pull the laces tight, but this has a lot to do with the new shape of this shoe, which is kind of unique to the HyperVenom series, so I'm curious to see how that does work out. The tongue itself is still made from that same trophy leather as the rest of the shoe. You have a synthetic leather heel liner, as you can see, internal plastic heel cup, and I'll give you guys a quick look at the insole. Basically a textile lined insole or a mesh insole with your HyperVenom logo there in orange, and it's pretty much just your standard EVA foam. You can see that the base of the insole actually matches the pattern on the bottom of the sole plate, which is kind of cool, but nothing too fancy there. I'll give you guys a quick look at the sole plate and stud pattern as well. It is TPU based, so it's plastic, which is no surprise. I'm not sure how different it actually is from the top-end HyperVenom Phantom. What they are kind of stressing this time around is this kind of articulated toe area where you have this little kind of flex groove right there, so both sides of the shoe are going to be a little bit more flexible. In all honesty, I can't tell too much of a difference just from flexing it in my hand or even wearing them on my feet, but definitely is an interesting idea by Nike. And you can see that they do have this kind of support beam going through the middle to provide that stiffness through the midfoot itself. Now, as far as the stud pattern itself goes, it definitely is very unique. It has kind of styling similar to the Mercurial series, and at the same time, it reminds me very much of the CTR 360 style stud pattern as well. The studs themselves are pretty much all conical, other than this one kind of push-off, very Mercurial-esque stud here in the middle, or sorry, at the tip of the toe, and then the one support stud in the middle.
And the conical studs themselves are very, very small, that are made for pretty much really easy ground penetration. So you do have your 4 studs in the heel as opposed to what we thought was going to be 3 studs based on a lot of the spy shots of seeing Neymar and other players kind of testing the shoes in blackout or whiteout form. And then of course you do have your studs here in the forefoot, 3 on each side that are conical, and then your 1 kind of push-off stud here at the toe, which I think is a really, really good idea. It's something that I really am a big fan of on the Mercurial shoe, and I'm glad that they've added it on the HyperVenom itself. So very curious to see how this shoe performs. Obviously, like I said, this is the 3rd takedown model, so it's nothing too fancy, but for a 3rd takedown model, $75 shoe, I'm actually pretty impressed with what Nike has put out. So that's pretty much it as far as the unboxing portion of this video goes. And move on to quick weigh-in so you can see how lightweight these guys are. The silhouette and overall styling of the HyperVenom is definitely reminiscent of the very popular Mercurial line, which is designed to be lightweight. So it shouldn't be too much of a surprise that the HyperVenom is also fairly lightweight, both in hand and on feet. So I'm going to weigh in this pair for you in real time. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US. We're going to throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 8.15 ounces, which is pretty lightweight. I would obviously expect the top-end Phantom model to be a little bit lighter, but for a $75 price point, 8.15 ounces is actually pretty lightweight. So that's pretty much it as far as the weigh-in portion of the video goes. And I move on to a quick on feet so you can get a better idea as to what the sizing is like and how these shoes fit. Alright, here's a look at the Nike HyperVenom Phelons on feet, and I have to say that I'm really impressed by how this shoe fits from right out of the box. Considering that it is a 3rd takedown model that retails for only $75, it definitely has the fit of a shoe that feels more expensive. In terms of the price range, I would compare it to probably the most popular shoe on the market in the Nike Mercurial Victory 4. And in terms of fit, this beats that shoe out hands down. It feels a lot better in my opinion. As far as what I would compare the shape of the HyperVenom to, it definitely feels more like the Mercurial series in my opinion, especially through the forefoot and toe box area. It is fairly low profile and has a tighter fit overall. Whereas the midfoot, again, it has a slightly tighter fit. It's not overly narrow, and it doesn't hug the instep quite as tight as the Mercurial series, but I still wouldn't say that this is an overly wide-fitting shoe at all. As far as sizing goes, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and the length is pretty much perfect. So as expected from Nike, these shoes do run true to size. Again, this is the Phelon, not the top-end HyperVenom Phantom. So again, if you want more information on that top-end model, be sure to stick around to the channel. So that's pretty much it as far as the on-feet portion of the video goes, and I'll leave you to my final thoughts. That's it for my unboxing plus on-feet video of the HyperVenom Phelon. Again, I'm going to be working on getting the top-end Phantom model in very, very shortly. The ship date is June 18th, but I'm going to try and get them before that. In the meantime, I will be testing these guys out and should hopefully have the full written review up on my website in the next couple of weeks or so. In the meantime, if you do want to check out that review page, you will find Buy It Now links with the best prices online, including exclusive SR4U coupon codes, along with the additional images of this particular product that will give you a better idea as to how it actually does look in person. If you guys have any questions regarding this shoe, feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you did enjoy the video, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest soccer gear. Links to all of my social media can be found down below in the description. And other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.